You may have noticed that in Word, certain things get automatically corrected. Let me show you. First of all, I'm going to press Control N for a new document, a new blank document, and I'll just bring it into view. What I'd then like to do is show you examples of autocorrect. For example, whenever I type 1/2, as soon as I press the space bar, it will change it to a half. When I go 1/4, as soon as I press the space bar, it'll change it to a quarter. So autocorrect deals with fractions. Autocorrect also deals with certain symbols. When I go bracket C and then close bracket, like that, it changes it to a copyright symbol. When I go bracket R, bracket, it changes it to a registered symbol. And the same with trademark. If I went bracket TM bracket, I get trademark. So it understands certain symbols. It also understands things like misspellings. If I was to go TEH, as soon as I press the space bar, it'll change it to the, and it makes it a capital T because it's the beginning of a sentence. It also corrects things. Let me just it also corrects things like a little I becomes a capital I, and so on. So there's a number of misspellings that it will correct. It also does things like ordinals. Ordinals include the first. As soon as I go 1ST, it changes it to the first. As soon as I go 2, ND, the second, and the third. So it understands ordinals. So there's lots of things that happen automatically, and this is a thing called autocorrect. So what I want to do is show you where the autocorrect comes from so we can locate it. If I go to File and then to Options, if I then choose Proofing on the left, I have a button called AutoCorrect Options. AutoCorrect will automatically correct 2 initial capitals. So if you type 2 capitals, it will correct it back to just being 1 capital. It will automatically capitalize the first letter of a sentence if you don't. And if you put something in a table, which we're about to look at, it will capitalize the first letter of a table cell. Also, if you type the name of a day, such as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it will capitalize those names of the day. And also, if you have your caps lock on and you start typing and you look up and realize you've got your caps lock on, if you press the space bar, it will automatically correct your accidental use of caps lock. So don't backspace, keep typing. As soon as you hit the space bar, it'll correct it. Now in here are a variety of symbols in the first column, and it replaces it with what's in the second column. So here's the copyright, here's the registered, and the trademark I showed you. Further down, for example, we've got common misspellings. So if you spell about with 2 B's, it'll change it to about with 1 B, and so on. Things like I before E except when there's a C, simple grammatical rules it'll fix. If you type ACN, it'll change it to can, and accommodate is often misspelt. And if I was to search for THE, you'll see there it is there. TEH is changed to THE. So it corrects misspellings. What we can do is also add to this list. For example, I'd like it to replace CB with Cathi Barker. So I tell it to replace CB with Cathi Barker. Usually this option here is in lowercase, and this is correctly capitalized. And I go add, and I've just added that. I can then tell it to replace SS with maybe Software Solutions. Oops, with Software Solutions. And I can add that. I get to replace Excel with Microsoft Excel for Windows, and add that. And I could replace WW with Microsoft Word for Windows, and add that. You can add many words, things that are going to save you time because I just have to type SS and it types Software Solutions for me, or things that you commonly misspell. Lots of different options. So I'm now going to click OK and OK again, and whenever I type SS and press the spacebar, I'll get Software Solutions, and whenever I type CB, spacebar, or Excel, or WW and hit the space bar. AutoCorrect can be a massive time saver and it automatically corrects errors or insert symbols we often use. Now, particularly with multi-words, we like to apply macrons also. So one such case might be that we want whakatane. If I was to type W-H-A-K-A-T, then I need an A with a line above it. Now sometimes we want characters that are not on our keyboard, so we need to insert symbols. If we go to the Insert tab in the ribbon, we actually have a button to the right called Symbol. And in here are a number of symbols that I've commonly used, but if what I was looking for was not listed, I'd go into More Symbols. These are the sorts of symbols that you can see for wingdings, but I'm going to change the font to the very top option, which is called Normal Text. When I go to Normal Text, these are all the sorts of normal options you would choose for words. So I'm going to look for an A with a line above it, and here it is here. And I'm going to just click it, and I'm going to insert it. And there it is there in the background. I can move this window by its title out of the way a little bit, and then complete the word whakatane. The whole idea is you type the word how you want it spelt, and I can then select that word. I can go into File and into Options. I can go to Proofing and AutoCorrect, and I can ask it to replace whakatane with the formatted whakatane I had selected in the background. And I can add that to my AutoCorrect. When I then go OK and OK again, I can then type whakatane. As soon as I press the space bar, it will correct it and put a macron over the A and make it a capital W. So sometimes we want to use AutoCorrect to also work with symbols. Symbols are any character that's not on your keyboard that you need to insert in your document. For example, if I'm producing a certificate for somebody and that person's name is Therese, I need an E with a fleck going this way, and I'll insert that. Click in the background, type an S, come back to the foreground, click on this option and insert again. And then I can spell her name correctly. So if you're looking for a certain character that's not on your keyboard, simply go to Insert, Symbol. If you want to make it that Word automatically corrects the spelling, I'll select this. I'll go to File, Options, Proofing, AutoCorrect, and I'll tell it to replace Therese with the formatted Therese I have selected in the background, and I'll add that to my AutoCorrect. And OK, and OK. Next time I have to produce a certificate or a letter for Therese, I simply type it, and when I press the space bar, it'll automatically correct it. Now, sometimes we want to insert a symbol, but we don't want to necessarily use AutoCorrect. We just want a shortcut key. A symbol that I use a lot is a tick. So I'm going to go into my Insert in the ribbon and to my Symbol button yet again and go to More Symbols. I'm going to look for a tick and I want to use this one. I'll then go to the Shortcut key button and I'll actually assign the shortcut key Control-Shift-T. So I press Control-Shift-T. And that says that it's currently assigned to unhang, so I don't want to use that one. So I'll backspace and try Control-Alt-T. Control-Alt-T is used for trademark, but I'm happy with just typing bracket TM bracket. So I'll assign this to a tick, and I click the Assign button. So that shortcut key combination now is assigned to a tick symbol, Control-Alt-T. I'll close, and whenever I press Control-Alt-T, I get a tick. So you can also assign a shortcut key to a symbol that you use regularly.